So I'm going to outline two arguments against Islam. And when I say argument against Islam, I mean argument against Muhammad's prophethood. Because if Muhammad's not a true prophet, then Islam's not true by extension. So I'm attacking right at the core right here. No straw man, no non sequiturs, no red herrings here. Right at the point here. So, two arguments are, first one, I'll go over the first one. The first one's going to be about Muhammad's satanic verses. So the argument goes like this. These are deductive arguments. So in order to impugn these, you need to impugn the premises. So premise number one, a prophet receives messages from God and gives them to people. I think that's undeniable. Premise number two, if a prophet reveals a message from Satan, then he's not to be trusted, thereby a false prophet. Premise number three, Muhammad revealed a message from Satan. Conclusion, Muhammad is a false prophet and cannot be trusted. Now, let's go over each premise. Premise number one, like I said, that's basically undeniable. I mean, that's what a prophet is, right? Premise number two is where we're going to start talking a bit more. Premise number two says, and by the way, I didn't write this down, so I might be a little bit sloppy, but the point is there, right? The premise number two is going to be about how a prophet cannot reveal a message from Satan, right? So, if the prophet's whole job is to receive messages from God and give them to the people, if he can't discern whether or not it's from God, then that undermines his whole entire prophethood, doesn't it? Why should we trust anything he says if he could be fooled by Satan? To me, that seems obvious. The whole point, it undermines the entire point of being a prophet. And this is why in Deuteronomy it says, if a prophet reveals a message from another god, then they are to be stoned to death. So, Muhammad would have been stoned to death. Now, Muhammad did this, which is premise number three. And you could read this in some hadiths here. Ibn Ashaq, pages 166 167, or the History of Al-Tabari, I mispronounced that, volume 6, page 111, 110, 112. It goes across pages. And basically the story is, Muhammad was teaching at the Mecca, preaching at the Mecca, whatever word you want to use. And he apparently got fooled by Satan and then ended up spreading a message that from 3 pagan crane goddesses, and the pagans at the place were really happy about it. And then Gabriel, the angel, came down to Muhammad and was like, "What are you doing, Muhammad? You revealed a message from Satan." And Muhammad was like, "Oh no, oops, alhamdulillah, oops, I accidentally revealed a message from Satan, oh no." And then God forgave him, and then they redacted it from the Quran, but that doesn't impugn the premises. So, conclusion from that is that Muhammad is not a true prophet and cannot be trusted, thereby Islam is false. Because that's Islam's entire claim. Now, again, you have to impugn that argument, you have to impugn the premises. Right? So next, the second argument, by the way, these aren't the only two arguments, but I think these are two of the strongest I have in my arsenal. Argument number two would be using the Quran's own sources, because Islam's own sources, because the first argument, there's a bit of an assumption there, right? But the second argument, I mean, if you're a Muslim, I don't see how you could get away from this one. I don't see how you get away. So this is going to be about how Muhammad died. So if we look at the Quran, chapter 66, I think it's surah. Is it surah? I don't know what word they use, to be honest. I don't remember, rather. It says, it's a revelation from the Lord of all worlds. Had the messenger made up something in our name? I want to make sure I quote this exactly right. We would have certainly seized him by his right hand, then severed his aorta. Now, I made videos about this stuff, by the way. Your aorta is basically your life artery. It goes through your entire body. So, dying by your aorta being severed is a very, very specific way to die. Remember what it says here. If Muhammad makes up something in our name, we'll take him by his right hand and sever his aorta. So, what it says here, I mean, if a prophet makes stuff up, then he's a false prophet, right? So, premise number one. If Muhammad makes up a message in the name of Allah, then he'll have his aorta severed, right? Premise number two. Muhammad did this. Muhammad died by his aorta being severed. Therefore, Muhammad made a message in Allah's name, thereby a false prophet. Now, what's my source for this? Hadith again. we can look at Sunun Abi Dawood 4512 and Sahih al-Bukhari 4428. So let's go over the story here. So basically, Muhammad killed this Jewish woman's family. Was it justified? I don't know. Not the point here. Anyways, they're at the table, right? And Muhammad's sitting. He's eating this lamb because he killed the Jewish woman's family. And this Jewish woman made a lamb for him. I don't know why he ate it. It seems pretty dumb to me, but whatever. Who knows? They're sitting at the table, they're eating this lamb, and then his associate, Bishr, dies. And then after, Muhammad's like, oh, the lamb has spoken to me. It is poisoned. Stop eating it. It's kind of funny to think about. I want to see someone do a skit of that. That's really funny to think about. But in any case, I'll read directly here. The message of Allah then ordered regarding her, and she was killed. He then said about the pain of which she died. I continued to feel the pain from the morsel which I had eaten at Khaybar. This is the time when it has cut off my aorta. So, right there, he died in the exact way the Quran said he would die if he was a false prophet. Literally, his own source just made him a false prophet right there. Next. Let's go back to Sahih al-Bukhari 4428. The prophet in his ailment in which he died used to say, oh, Aisha, I still feel the pain caused by the food I ate at Khaybar. And at this time, I feel as if my aorta is being cut from that poison. Now, what's funny is because what they do is they stand on the Arabic version. They say, like, well, the English version is wrong. You have to read the Arabic version. You have to read in original language. But the truth is, in the Arabic version, as if is not included. In the Arabic version, it straight up says, my aorta is being cut. In the English, the translation, it says, it feels as if. The as if's not there in the Arabic version. So, funny fact there. The English version is actually more forgiving. But in any case, there's the two arguments. And I believe all the premises are more likely true than not, therefore the conclusions logically follow. Now, if you're going, again, like I said, if you're going to impugn, I'm open to discussion. So, if you're going to impugn these, actually attack the premises. Don't attack the conclusions, because those logically follow. So, all that being said, there are two of the main arguments, not all, two of the main arguments to why I'm not a Muslim.